Okay, I've made a decision. I'm no longer going to announce. I'm no longer going to announce hiatuses. If I decide to do a hiatus, I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to announce it. I'm going to just do it. Because, yeah, man, this is, because this most recent hiatus, I've almost made a mockery of it. Again, I said starting with Monday, August 5th, I wasn't going to do any more free YouTube videos for the next 6 weeks. And now, 3 weeks into that proposed 6-week hiatus, I've now, including this video, done 5 videos. I've done 5 videos. This will be my 5th video that I've done. So from now on, now somebody might ask, well, Alan, why do you announce them in the first place? The reason why I start announcing hiatuses was because I know how my schedule is. Like, I know when I'm going to be out of town a lot, or I know when I'm going to be working with clients a lot, one-on-one, face-to-face coaching session clients a lot. So I almost like to give my followers a pre-warning that I'm going to be off the grid for a while. Like just recently, like last weekend, I was in Atlanta for 5 days. I didn't do any videos. Just this past, Thursday and Friday, I was out of town. And so I was working with clients. So normally I like to give my followers, video followers and listeners a pre-warning that, hey, I'm going to be busy, either busy traveling, busy with one-on-one face-to-face coaching clients. So that's what initially provoked me to announce my hiatuses. But I just realized now that sometimes even during my proposed hiatuses, I just got a lot of shit to say. Where do I begin? Okay, I guess the first place I'm gonna start touching on is the pills. These pills just won't go away, man. These infamous pills just won't go away. Now, I had a couple of my followers. Yeah, remember I said it always starts with a follower. See, I love my followers, man, but one of the reasons why I end up offering so many responses and rebuttals to stuff people say is because 3/4 of the time I don't pay attention to shit on my own. I'm too busy doing my other shit. A lot of times, if I pay attention to like somebody else's podcast, somebody else's live stream, whatever, it's usually because I have a follower that will send me a Facebook inbox message or an email or a Patreon page inbox direct message and say, hey, Alan, so-and-so was just mentioning your name. Hey, Alan, so-and-so was just talking about this subject that you were talking about, and they said an opinion that was different from yours. Hey, Alan, so-and-so is up here trashing you and your books and so on and so on. So when you hear me offering responses and rebuttals to various things that were said about me or said about my books or said about something that I recently talked about, it starts with one of my followers and supporters alerting me to that. Only occasionally do I discover stuff on my own. Because again, man, I'm too busy with my normal coaching sessions with clients, Skype and consultation sessions with clients, email consultations with clients, traveling. And now I'm in a relationship, which I'm going to touch on in a bit. Yeah, I ain't got time to be scouring YouTube looking for people talking about me. But the most recent person was a young brother. I'm not really familiar with him. Goes by the name Cousin the Tao, Cousin T-Tao. I know I'm fucking up his name. I don't know fuck his name. Something cousin in Tao, something T Tao, I think it is. T Tao. And he did a video that I had at least 3 followers, not 1, not 2, but 3 followers wrote me. They said, "Hey, Allen, man, this dude, cousin Tao, man, he's siding with BGS Itmore about the black pill definition." Well, number one, my response is, so? That's my number one response. So? Of course. I mean, realistically, when it comes to the difference of opinion we had on the definition and description of black pill, of course, some people are going to be siding with BGS Itmore's definition and description of what it means to be black pill, and other people are going to side with me. Because in the big picture, you could argue that both of our definitions and descriptions are highly subjective. You could argue that both of our definitions and descriptions are highly subjective. He can't prove, BGS Itmore cannot prove that his definition and description of the black pill mindset is the universally accepted, objective, factual definition of what it means to be black pill, and neither can I. Neither one of us can. So on the big picture, both of our definitions and descriptions are highly subjective. My only argument is that I'm in that video I did where I discussed it, I argued that my subjective definition of what it means to be black pill is co-signed by more factions of the mainstream media and more factions of the manosphere and general public than BGS definition and description. That's what I argue. I'm not arguing that my definition is the de facto, universally accepted, factual definition of what it means to be black pill. I will acknowledge that my definition and description is subjective just like his is. But again, my argument is there's more people who co-sign with my subjective definition of what it means to be black pill than there are people who co-sign with his definition. So I'm not bothered by the fact that this young brother, cousin Tao, sided with BGS. Now, I already saw where a couple people in the comment section already did say that, told cousin Tao that they agree with me over BGS. And again, you're going to have people, of course, people in BGS camp going to say, man, fuck Allen Currie. Fuck him, man. Egomaniac, argumentative motherfucker. Fuck him. Fuck that nigga. Old nigga with the Porsche. Fuck him, man. I agree with my boy BGS, man, because BGS is my boy, man. I'm going to agree with him. And then I'm going to have people on my side that's going to be like, man, fuck BGS. I never seen his real face. I don't even know his real name. Fuck him. Allen Currie is my nigga, man. That's my boy. That's my boy. So, of course, we each going to have people in our camps. They're going, you know. And then there's probably some people going to try to stay right in the middle. Going to be like, I like both of these gentlemen. I like BGS and I like Allen Currie. And I hate to see these two guys feuding with each other. So I'm just going to say, I'm just going to try to stay out of this. You know, I hope these brothers can come together and work their differences out. And now I want to clarify though. I've always said I ain't got nothing personal against your boy. I think he knows that. You know, I've gotten into heated philosophical disagreements with people without taking it to a personal level. You know, so I don't have no personal ill will against that, against BGS or cousin Tito, because I read in some conversation said Allen Currie cannot handle anybody disagreeing with him. He wants everything he say to be agreed with. That's not true. That's not true. I can handle disagreements, particularly if they're respectful disagreements. I can handle disagreements. Shoot. Man, in my career as a book author and dating coach, you know how many times I've had people disagree with me? Shoot, here would be the most obvious example. I pointed this out before. If I couldn't handle it, most of y'all don't know, man, my own blood brother, Steven, my own brother, we've gotten into many heated philosophical debates related to my the contents of my books, the contents of my videos, and just my overall career as a book author and dating coach. So if people think I can't handle people disagreeing with me, that would be like saying, Alan, I don't think you can maintain a successful relationship with your own brother. Because if y'all saw behind the scenes, man, me and my brother, again, this is my blood brother. I love him more than any other male on earth. But me and my brother, man, we've had some head bumps. Like, I'll give you a couple examples. My brother, he doesn't like the fact that I use so much profanity on my videos. He hates that. Now, my brother tell you, he does not like the fact that I use a lot of profanity on my videos. He doesn't like the fact that I use a lot of X-rated and triple X-rated sexually explicit language on my videos. Like my show I have with women, the erotic conversationalists, there's nothing but X-rated, triple X-rated language. I don't think he's listened to one episode of that show. I don't think my brother's listened to one full episode of that show. My brother, for lack of a better word, I'm going to say this lightheartedly. I wouldn't say he's truly a prude, but in a lighthearted way, my brother is kind of like a semi-prude, man, when it comes to language. That's why when I talk about my 4 versions of Mode 1, which is Mode 0, Mode 1 Hardcore, regular Mode 1 or conventional Mode 1, and Mode 1.5, I've always said my brother's most favorite is Mode 1.5. That's the version of Mode 1 where you don't use any profanity, and you don't use any R-rated, X-rated, or triple X-rated language. Before my brother met his now wife, that was the version of Mode 1 he used the most, was Mode 1.5. Yeah, my brother, he doesn't like cursing with women. When he talks to women, he really people, period. He doesn't, like if you ever listen to my brother talk, he's a school teacher, man. He's a school teacher. So my brother, he not into using a bunch of motherfucker this and fuck that and shit this and goddamn that. That ain't my brother, man. That ain't my brother. That ain't his style. So anyway, me and him have had arguments. Like he'll tell me, he said, bro, man, why you use so much damn profanity, man? Why you use so much profanity in your videos? Why do you use so much sexually explicit language? How come you can't keep all your stuff just PG? PG-13? Because my brother's always one. See, here's what my brother, and I've talked about this before, so I'm not breaking the confidence of me and my brother's conversation. See, my brother, he wants me to be on the level of like a Matthew Hussey. That's what my brother wants me to be on. He wants me to be a mainstream dating coach. Somebody who's frequently on mainstream media morning TV talk shows. Like Matthew Hussey has been on the NBC Today Show and CBS's Morning multiple times. He's been on afternoon talk shows. I've seen him. You know, interesting fact about Matthew Hussey, he started out as a men's dating coach. He started out as a men's dating coach and I think a pickup artist, but guess what? He saw there wasn't really no money in it. He saw there really wasn't no money in it. So he turned to women. And now he's like, I want to say he either is a millionaire or he's close to being a millionaire since he started helping out women. Now, most people would argue that most of his advice for women is blue pill, throwing the pills in there again, is blue pill advice. But shit, motherfucker making money. And that's why this brings me to a criticism I heard of me recently. And I've heard this criticism ever since I got on YouTube. Some guys say, Alan, man, you know Alan ain't going to keep shit 1,000% real. He might keep stuff 80% real or 85% real, 90% real. But he ain't going to never keep shit 100% real, particularly as it relates to the fuckery of women, because he need to make that money. He need to make that money. Insert dog face here. Man, what did I tell y'all when I first got on YouTube? What did I tell y'all about this accusation about Alan Roger Currie is just all about selling his books and making money? Dude, I'm going to tell you, and this relates to what I was saying about my brother. If I was really about making money, that was like my sole objective, was just to make a lot of money, man, I wouldn't be trying to help you motherfuckers out. Shit, I would be all about helping out women. That's where the money is. Anybody knows that. Anybody knows that. If you're a book author, you always going to make more money marketing books to romantically and sexually frustrated women than you are romantically and sexually frustrated men. I'll bet anybody money on that. You can always make more money marketing books to romantically and sexually frustrated women than you will marketing books to romantically and sexually frustrated men. Believe that shit. Believe that shit. Speaking of that, I'll tell you a guy who's been making a killing with a book. Y'all want to criticize somebody? There's a brother I interviewed on Blog Talk Radio named G.L. Lambert. Any of y'all familiar with G.L. Lambert? He got this book out called Hoe Tactics. Hoe Tactics. That book is almost always in the top 10 in his category. I know he's making a killing off that book. Guess what his book is about in a nutshell? You know, you hear a lot of guys on YouTube venting, emphasis on that word, venting. A lot of men just come to YouTube to just vent. They ain't looking to really genuinely improve their lives. They ain't looking to immerse themselves in self-improvement and personal development. They just want to vent. They just want to vent about how scandalous these bitches are out here. That's all they want to do, is vent about how scandalous these bitches are, how dishonest and scandalous and adulterous and unfaithful and duplicitous these scandalous ass bitches out here. Well, guess who has a book that encourages women to be a scandalous, duplicitous bitch? G.L. Lambert. His book is called Hoe Tactics. Read it if you get a chance. Here's what he, in essence, I'm paraphrasing a lot of his material, but this is what, in essence, what he tells women in that book. He tells women, don't stop being a hoe. Don't stop being a hoe. Go ahead and be a hoe, but be a discreet hoe. Be a discreet hoe, even a materialistic hoe, between the ages of roughly 18 and 24, 18 and 29. Then when you get to about somewhere between 25 and 30, start presenting yourself as an innocent, wholesome, strictly monogamy-oriented good girl so you can snatch up a husband. But make sure that husband is making a lot of paper so that you can take advantage of him financially. That's Jill Lambert, man. He plays right into women's shady side. He actually is endorsing and condoning women to be somewhat shady. Yeah, if nothing else, duplicitous. A word I throw around a lot. Duplicitous. He actually is encouraging women to be duplicitous. He's basically like telling women, be a hoe privately behind closed doors in a discreet manner. When you're young, get as much dick as you can. But then when you hit to the age about somewhere between 25 and 30, begin to create more of a good girl image and reputation so that you can attract a husband. And on top of that, don't just go after a husband, but make sure you're getting a husband that's going to take care of you financially. Pay most, if not all of your bills, upgrade your lifestyle. And again, man, I'm telling you, man, his book is selling well. I occasionally keep track of his book because ever since I interviewed him on Blog Talk Radio, that motherfucker's book it's been number one in this category multiple times. And if it's not number one, it's always in the top 10. Always. So for all you guys criticizing Derek Jackson and some of the other guys who favor women, if there's one guy, I'm not asking y'all to disparage G.L. Lambert because I actually like the young brother. I interviewed him. He was pretty cool. He's just real about shit. You could almost say he's truly red pill. His attitude is women are who they are, man. Ain't no point in trying to change them. So he found a way to make money by encouraging them to be their real true nature, to give in to their real true nature. But yeah, man. So anyway, I was originally talking about myself. I was saying that, guys say, well, Elementary Currie, man, he ain't going to keep shit 1,000% real because two things I've heard. He doesn't want to offend women who a large percentage of his revenue comes from. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. I don't have significant revenue that comes. None of my major revenue streams come predominantly from women. None of them do. Now, I have been asked, I've had literally hundreds of women who have asked me to write a book called Mode 1 for Women. Mode 1 for Women. And I am leaning towards writing that book. Yeah, I've had a number of personal friends, acquaintances, friends of friends that want me to write a book called Mode 1 for Women. I'm tempted to write it, but the reality is most women would never have the strength of character and integrity to truly be Mode 1 with men. Ain't no woman gonna straight up tell a man, hey, I really don't want to fuck you, but I want you to spend money on me. What woman gonna have the balls to be that straightforward with a man? Come on. So if I was to write that book, I know most of the women wouldn't follow the advice because most women ain't gonna be that real. Most women ain't gonna be that real. At least not the manipulative time waster type of my 5 archetypes. If there's one woman I know for sure ain't gonna follow my Mode 1 principles, will be the manipulative time wasters. They ain't gonna follow no Mode 1 advice. They ain't gonna tell men, hey, I am not attracted to you physically. I'm not attracted to you sexually, but I do want you to take me out on 2 dates, 3 dates, 4 dates, 5 dates, so I can have a free meal on your dime. Shit. I await the day when that day comes. Shit. Ain't no woman gonna have the strength of character and integrity to be that bold and straightforward with men. But lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, but I was saying, yeah. Oh, so that's the truth. Because I heard some guys will say, Alan, he ain't gonna go in on women, and more specifically black women. He ain't gonna go in on women because he would lose money. No, I wouldn't. Again, the only money I really make from women that I know of, there's 2 things that in my role as a BDSM and polyamory consultant, I work with a lot of individual women as well as a lot of couples. So I do make money from women who are my clients in my role as a BDSM and polyamory advisor. As far as my books, if there is one book of mine that quite a few women do purchase, particularly the audiobook version, is Ooh Say It Again. I get a lot of feedback from women on my book, Ooh Say It Again, because they love those 6 verbal seduction stories. They almost look at it as audio erotica. So yeah, a lot of women have purchased of my 4 major audiobooks. The one audiobook that a lot of women have listened to is Ooh Say It Again. And to a far lesser extent, I've had women buy the Mode 1 audiobook. I don't think I've ever gotten feedback from women, at least a significant number of women, on Possibility of Sex or the Beta Male Revolution. Matter of fact, almost all the feedback I've gotten from women on those 2 books have been negative feedback. 90% of the feedback I've gotten on Possibility of Sex and the Beta Male Revolution from women has been negative feedback. Women hate those 2 books of mine. It's the Possibility of Sex and the Beta Male Revolution. But I have women who love Mode 1 and Ooh Say It Again, particularly Ooh Say It Again. Yeah, a lot of women buy Ooh Say It Again. Okay, going back to these pills. See, I heard this guy again, Cousin T-Talk. He said that, similar to what BGS said, he said that he doesn't believe guys who are misogynists or murderous incels are black pill. He called them disgruntled blue pillars or radicalized blue pillars. Disgruntled blue pillars or radicalized blue pillars. That's his opinion. I disagree with that. Because I believe, here's what I believe. And one of my followers said this in Cousin Tito's comment section. He said, if you're truly a disgruntled blue pillar, then why would you remain a blue pillar? If you're disgruntled about being a blue pillar, you're not going to remain a blue pillar. And that's how I feel. Well, I think he was quoting me, but that's how I feel. If you're a disgruntled Christian, why would you remain a Christian? If you're a disgruntled Muslim, why would you remain a Muslim? If you're a disgruntled vegan or disgruntled vegetarian, why would you remain a vegan or a vegetarian? If you're a disgruntled meat eater, why would you remain a meat eater? See what I'm saying? So in my mind, you can't be a disgruntled blue pillar. Because once you become disgruntled over what the blue pill mindset represents, you're not going to remain blue pill. You're going to become black pill. You're going to become black pill. You know how I see a lot of black pillars? That's how I see a lot of black pillars, man. Speaking of the word radical. So most of y'all have heard of the term traditionalist, a traditionalist. And there's even some people who call themselves radical traditionalists. Radical traditionalists. A traditionalist is somebody who wants to see things stay the same as they've always been. They want to maintain the customs, beliefs, attitudes, rituals, social customs, and conventions that they feel have worked to society's benefit and their benefit. They don't want to see any of those things modified or changed. That's a traditionalist. And then a radical traditionalist is someone who gets upset when they see that things are going to change. When they feel like things are changing. I'll give you an example related to dealing with women and dating relationships. As we all know, in the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, most of the 1950s, men ran the show. Most of dating centered around long-term relationships that were going to ultimately lead to marriage. Men and women get married. The man was considered the head of the household. The woman was usually a housewife and stay-at-home mother who took care of the kids. The husband was the breadwinner. And the father had a lot of say-so over, if he had a daughter, one or more daughters, he had a lot of say-so on who his daughter dated and who his daughter was going to marry, unless his daughter decided to elope, something I talk about in the Beta Male Revolution. And so you can say people who favor those lifestyles, they would be considered traditionalists. And of course, the period that fucked up all those traditional customs and conventions was, again, the period I talk about in the Beta Male Revolution. That period between 1960 and 1974. Birth control pill. Second wave of feminism. The free love movement / sexual revolution. The legalization of abortion. End result, all women felt like they were free to fuck before they got married and just generally outside the context of marriage. Men's role as the head of the household began to slowly but surely diminish. Male traditionalists don't like that shit. They don't like that shit. I had a guy write a comment in my comment section that's since been deleted. You know what he said? I would say he was probably a radical traditionalist in his own way. I would definitely say he was black pill by my definition of it. He said, Alan, I hear you always talking against the idea of men owning pussy. Well, I would have to respectfully disagree with you. Men should own pussy. Why the fuck are women on, I'm paraphrasing something, so this is not all word for word, but most of it is. He said, why the fuck are women on earth if they're not going to allow men to own their pussy? He said, I think women should be in two categories, and you've pointed out these two categories. I think women should either be strictly monogamy-oriented, marriageable, good girls, strictly monogamy-oriented, marriageable, good girls, or I think they should make it publicly known that they're kinky, highly promiscuous, untrustworthy sluts. He said, I think all women should be in one of those two categories. Either a strictly monogamy-oriented, marriageable good girl, or they should make it publicly known that they are kinky, highly promiscuous, untrustworthy, unfaithful sluts. He said, he said, Alan, you talked about in a recent video these shades of gray in the middle of those two extremes. He said, those are the women I most hate. He said, I think those women should be eliminated. Now, he didn't go as far as to say, I want to kill those bitches, which would have made him a murderous incel type motherfucker. But in his own way, he implied that. He said, I think all those women who are in the shades of gray area in the middle of those two extremes should be eliminated. He said, what's the point of them being on Earth? He said, they're serving no purpose on Earth. Really? So you get the right to determine who serves a purpose on Earth. You're now God and the jury, the judge and jury of humankind. You, Mr. Commenter, get to decide who has value on this earth. Nigga, fuck you. And I don't even think you're black, and I called you a nigga. Fuck you. Ain't nobody got the right to deserve who deserves to be on earth and who doesn't. The only people I feel don't deserve to be on earth is people like you, actually. It's people that want other people dead. Those are that's the number one group of people that I will say that I don't feel don't deserve to be on earth. It's people that want to see other human beings dead. If you're in favor of murdering other people, I wish you were not on earth. I'll publicly say that. If you're a person who genuinely feels like other people should be dead, should be murdered, then you shouldn't be on earth. That's Alan Roger Currie talking. But who are you to say, Mr. Commenter, that no woman who's either not a strictly monogamy-oriented, faithfully monogamous good girl, or a woman who doesn't make it publicly known that she's a kinky, highly promiscuous, adulterous, or unfaithful, untrustworthy slut, if a woman's not in one of those two categories, that she should be eliminated. Yeah, this guy actually, I'm not making this up, this guy actually wrote that in my comments. Again, I deleted it since. I don't keep hateful shit like that in my comment section. But a guy actually wrote that a couple days ago. He said men deserve to own pussy. See, that's part of your problem. See, there's a lot of guys on YouTube who, it's funny, there's a lot of guys on YouTube, again, touching on the pills again, who want to call themselves red pill, but really they're not red pill. Because when you're truly red pill, you accept the true nature of men, you accept the true nature of women, and you just come to the conclusion that men are who they are, women are who they are. No point in trying to change either one of them. No point in trying to encourage some type of modification or major change in either one of their behavior. They are who they are. Let them be who they're going to be. That's truly red pill. When you're a very combination of realistic and objective. Realistic and objective. That's how I define red pill. When you're a combination of very realistic about shit, particularly as it relates to men and women's true sexual nature, and you're very objective minded and fair and balanced. But if you're a guy who's always espousing that, hey, we need to return to the way things were in the 1920s and the 1930s, 1940s, how can you call yourself red pill? You ain't red pill. You ain't red pill. You ain't red pill. You ain't red pill. You're a radical traditionalist is what you are. And I classify them as black pill. Radical traditionalists are what I would call black pill. You hate that the second wave of feminism has freed up women to be free-spirited, open-minded, and sexually liberated. You hate that. You hate that. Admit it, you hate that. You want to go back to the day where women, similar to that guy who commented in my comment section, I guarantee you, a lot of you guys on YouTube who call yourself red pill, this is what you really want. If you could wave a magic wand, you would want all women to be in those same two categories that guy commented on. You would want women to either all be, the vast majority of women to be strictly monogamy oriented, faithfully monogamous, marriageable good girls, or on the opposite end, you want a small percentage of women to make it publicly known that they are kinky, highly promiscuous, adulterous, unfaithful, untrustworthy sluts. But like in my book, Who Said Again, as you know, I divide women into 5 categories: 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. Basically, in regards to my rating in Who Said Again, you want women to be either 5s or 1s. 5s or 1s. That's what you guys want. You want women to be either 5s or 1s. But y'all hate women who are 2s, 3s, and 4s. That's what y'all hate. I did a video in 2017 where I talked about that. Most men, that's where most of their hatred of women comes from, is directed towards, in regards to my 5 categories of women's sexuality. Most men hate the women who are 2s, 3s, and 4s. Those are the shades and grays in the middle of those other 2 extremes. Most men want women to be 5s or 1s. They want women to be 5s or 1s. They can't handle. Now, I've had some men say, no, Alan, I slightly disagree with you. Some of my followers, they say, Alan, I don't mind 4s. I've had a lot of men tell me, they say, actually, I don't mind women who are 4s. So I don't really have an issue with 4s. I only have an issue with the women who are 2s and 3s. But I like 5s, 4s, and 1s. A 4, in case you haven't read my book, Who Said Again, a 4 is a woman that highly prefers to only have sex with a man who's her husband, her fiance, or a long-term boyfriend, but she will occasionally indulge in 1 or more episodes of short-term, non-monogamous casual sex. That's a 4. A 5 is a woman that only will have sex with a man who's her husband or at minimum her fiance. Her husband or at minimum her fiance. A 1 is a woman who's not only very kinky and promiscuous, but she lets it be publicly known that she's kinky and highly promiscuous. That's a 1 in my book, Who Said Again. Here's my final thing. Some of you guys, in my last video, I spent a lot of time criticizing the intelligence and decision-making of other YouTube content creators' followers. Of other YouTube content creators' followers. But here's what I'm noticing about some of my own. Not a lot. Actually, only a real small percentage, but still worth talking about. There's a small percentage of my own followers that, based on their commentary, either through email or if you're on Patreon, when people leave your Patreon page, when they unsubscribe, they have the option to leave a what's known as an exit survey comment. An exit survey comment. Basically where they can tell you what's the reason they're... Now, most people, when they unsubscribe to my Patreon page, if they do unsubscribe, they usually don't leave an exit survey comment. But I'd say at least 5, no more than 10% do. They might say something like, hey, Alan, I'm having financial struggles right now, but I'll be back. Or, yeah, I lost my job, so I can no longer, support you on a month-to-month basis or something along those lines. But some guys leave critical comments. Some guys leave critical comments. And just in the last 2 weeks, I've had at least 4 or 5 guys that left my Patreon page that left critical comments. I want to say, let's say it was 5 comments. I want to say 3 of the 5 guys left, interesting enough, because I announced that I had a girlfriend now, that I'm in a long-term relationship now. And I've addressed this on a couple previous videos. Do you know there's at least a small percentage of men that are upset about that. Like they look at that as going to the pills again. Some guys look at being in a long-term relationship as being antithetical to being red pill. Their attitude is, how can you call yourself red pill if you believe in the notion of a red of a long-term relationship. And I've already pointed out in 2 videos before, I can name a bunch of people who are red pill that are either married or in a long-term relationship. Rollo Tomasi. His nickname is the Godfather of red pill. He's married with a daughter. Steve the Dean Williams is very red pill. I talked to him on the phone quite a bit. I know his attitudes towards dating. He's as red pill as you can get. And he's been married for 20 years. Got 5 kids. Donovan Sharp. Donovan Sharp is very married. I mean, he's not married. I'm sorry. He's not married. He got a long-term girlfriend. Donovan Sharp has a girlfriend. I met his girlfriend at the 21 convention last year. I dare anybody to say Donovan Sharp is not red pill. But he got a girlfriend. So how can y'all say that being in a relationship is antithetical to being red pill? But yet I had as many as 3 guys who were my Patreon subscribers that unsubscribed because they said, Alan, man, what's with this you having a girlfriend, man? I thought you was about fucking and dumping women. But now I see you one of them blue pill simps that believes in relationships and marriage. Nigga. Nigga. Like one guy wrote in my comment, another guy, speaking of my comment section, he said, Alan, I don't know why it seems like you're encouraging marriage. All you're going to do if you get married is have a woman file for divorce, and then she's going to financially rape you in divorce court and take custody of your kids. I don't see how you could even, remotely endorse marriage when all that's going to happen is a woman is going to financially rape you in divorce court and take full custody of your kids. So you're saying that happens with every guy who gets married. It sounds like you suggesting that happens with every single guy who gets married. Come on, man. My father was married for 42 years before he died to my mother. 42 and a half years. My mother never filed for divorce, and she never financially raped him in divorce court. Most men don't have enough money to be financially raped. Most men who are married, they don't make enough money to be financially raped. Like my brother. My older brother is, matter of fact, this Friday will be my brother's 12th year anniversary. I've never heard my brother complain once about marriage. My brother, he's a school teacher. He don't make enough money to be financially raped in divorce court. If, God forbid, my sister-in-law decided to divorce him. Matter of fact, for the first half of my brother's marriage, his wife was making more money than him. So how could he be financially raped? Yeah, my sister-in-law was making more money than my brother for the first half of their marriage. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You need to read my book, Beta Male Revolution, man. Relationships is all about how you design them to be. Marriage is all about how you design them to be. Like the relationship I'm in now, my girlfriend knows I run shit. There's no debate or discussion about that. I run shit in this relationship. But man, you guys need to get out of this zone where you're talking about long-term relationships and marriage is antithetical to being a true red pillar. That's bullshit. That to me, again, that sounds like some black pill shit. See, to me, if you totally anti long-term relationships, you totally anti-marriage, I don't consider you red pill. You're black pill in my mind. And again, some would argue that my definition and description of black pill is somewhat, if not highly, subjective. For argument's sake, let's say it is. That's my subjective definition. To me, when you anti-long-term relationships and you're anti-marriage, you're not red pill, you're black pill. You're a radical traditionalist. You only believe in marriage if it could go back to the way it was in the 1930s, 1940s, 1950s. You only believe in long-term relationships if we could go back in a time machine to the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s. But as far as modern day, you totally hate it because you feel like women have too much influence, are too open-minded and sexually liberated, and it's inevitable they're going to cheat on you with a womanizing alpha male with a bigger dick than yours, so you're upset about that shit. Bless your heart. Bless your heart. Bless your heart. Join me in my Patreon exclusive portion where I'm about to discuss this whole notion of fucking dump. Fucking dump. Because here's the reality. Here's the reality, man. And I'm going to expound on it in my Patreon portion, but I'll say it quickly here. Most of y'all ain't even got the balls to fucking dump. I don't even know why y'all talking about fucking dump. Y'all ain't got the balls to do it. If you do, invite me to hang out with you so I can watch you in action. Y'all ain't got the balls big as mine. I got the balls to fucking dump. I've told women straight up in the first 30 seconds, the first 60 seconds, no more than the first 90 seconds of the conversation, that all I wanted to do was fuck them for the next week or two and then leave them alone. Do you got them type of balls? 90 to 99% of y'all ain't got them type of balls. You know you don't. And y'all putting all this emphasis on fucking and dumping, and y'all don't even have the balls to tell a woman straight up that all you want to do is fucking dump. So don't talk to me about fucking and dumping. And y'all ain't even got no big balls to do that shit. Join the angry, agitated Alaraja Currie in my Patreon exclusive portion. Well, fellas, some of you are going to be surprised by this Patreon exclusive portion because it's rare. It's rare that I issue an admonishment towards my Patreon subscribers. Typically, when I'm going to, do some kind of rant and or admonishment, it's geared towards my haters and critics who only watch my free YouTube videos. But in this case, I'm going to issue somewhat of an admonishment, even though it doesn't apply to most of you. Matter of fact, I would say, honestly, probably 90 to 95% of you, this admonishment doesn't apply. So you can feel safe that 90 to 95% of y'all, this admonishment doesn't actually apply to you. But for it to 5 to 10% that it does, here's what I'm saying. It's rare when you're going to hear a Patreon content creator invite people to unfollow him and unsubscribe. But there's at least a small percentage of you all, I'm going to invite you to unsubscribe. Between now and August 31st, I'm going to invite you to unsubscribe to me. Yes, I am. And again, that's something that most Patreon subscriber content creators would never do. But I'm going to invite you to unsubscribe if you fall into one or more of these categories. Number one, this relates to either my last or next to last Patreon exclusive video. I told you I had a guy from another country accuse me of teaching of Mo 1 Hardcore being representing me teaching illegal tactics. Yeah, he said I was teaching illegal tactics in reference to my version of Mo 1 called Mo 1 Hardcore because he ran into some legal troubles as a result of being Mo 1 Hardcore. But then when I asked him, why don't you just resort to being regular Mo 1 or Mo 1.5, he said, I don't feel like that's going to help me get laid. So he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. But if you believe anything about what I teach is going to land you into legal trouble, for example, land you in jail, unsubscribe. If you feel like anything I'm teaching is going to land you in jail, has the potential to land you in jail, you have my permission to go ahead and unsubscribe. Number two, if you're anti-long-term relationships and anti-marriage, and you feeling some kind of way about me now having a long-term girlfriend, you feel like that's antithetical to me being red pill. You have ill feelings towards me because I've announced that I have a long-term girlfriend. You're more than welcome to unsubscribe. You're more than welcome to unsubscribe. If you're a radical traditionalist that I was talking about in the free portion, you want things to go back to the way they were in the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, which is never going to happen. I don't know why you're following me, because I'm not a radical traditionalist. So you have my permission to unsubscribe. And the fourth and final guy, and this rarely happens. This rarely happens, but I've had it happen, I don't know, maybe 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Don't be following me if you think over half the stuff I say is not as valid as some other dating coach or pickup artist or whatever. Now, again, I've rarely had that happen among my Patreon subscribers, but it's happened at least 2 or 3 times where I've had some guys that become a Patreon subscriber only for the purpose of telling me, well, I don't think the stuff you're teaching is as valid as so-and-so, what so-and-so teaches. Then why the fuck are you following me then? Why the fuck are you following me? Stop following me. Unsubscribe. Yeah, because just in the last 2 weeks, I had as many as 5 people that unsubscribed to me that left exit survey comments that were negative. Normally, when people leave exit, most people, when they do unsubscribe to me, they either don't leave an exit survey comment at all, or if they do leave an exit survey comment, it's usually along the lines of, hey, Alan, I'm not unsubscribing because I don't like your content. It's because I ran into some financial troubles, like I lost my job or just finances are tight, but I'm going to come back. That's what I get 90 to 95% of the time. But in the last 2 weeks, I had 5 people that unsubscribed to me, and 3 of the 5, they had an issue with the fact that I have a girlfriend. They have an issue with that. They literally have an issue. They said, man, Alan, I kind of lost respect for you, man, after you announced that you're in a long-term relationship, man. I thought you was about teaching guys how to fuck and dump women. I thought you was about teaching guys how to fuck and dump women. I didn't know you was one of those blue pill guys who believes in long-term relationships and marriage. I've asked this question at least 3 or 4 times in previous videos. When have I ever said that I was anti-long-term relationships or anti-marriage? I want to know when I've announced that. I've never, in my books, in my videos, I've never announced that I was anti-long-term relationships or anti-marriage. But yet, a lot of guys treat me as if I used to say that I was anti-long-term relationship or used to say that I was anti-marriage, but now I'm changing. I'm changing and becoming purple pill instead of red pill. Then the other 2 guys who left, I had one guy, he said he was unsubscribing to me because he said, Alan, you seem to associate all guys who criticize women with being murderous incels and being mole for and murderous incels. And he said, I disagree with that. He said, I disagree with that. He said, I enjoy a lot of your content, but I dislike the fact that you're trying to suggest that every man who criticizes women is a potential mass murderer. Number one, I never said that. I don't know where he got that from. I never said that. I never said that any guy who criticizes the flaws and weaknesses of women were potential mass murderers. I never said that. What I did say is that when I did that video called I'm leaving, I want to disassociate myself from the manosphere. I said one of the reasons why I want to disassociate myself from the manosphere is because there's too many black pill types and too many, and the manosphere is beginning to be associated with mass murderers and murderous incels by the mainstream media. That's what I said. I never said that if you're simply a guy who has criticisms of women, that means you're going to be a mass murderer. I never said that. But anyway, that's what this guy who unsubscribed from me said. And then what was the fifth guy's complaint? I had a fifth guy. I think he said something to the effect of, Alan, you don't go in enough on women compared to this person and that person. You're not hard enough towards these women out here, man. These women out here are treacherous and scandalous and unfaithful and materialistic and blah, blah, blah. And I don't feel like you go in on them enough. I thought a lot of your Patreon exclusive content was going to be representative of you going in on these scandalous bitches, but you don't do that enough compared to, you name like 2 or 3 other people in the manosphere. I ain't into whining and bitching about women, man. I mean, if you read my book, The Possibility of Sex, you should know from reading that book or listening to the audiobook version that I do in that book, if no other book, I point out many of the flaws and weaknesses of women's behavior. I point out the manipulative time wasters in that book, women who are gold diggers, women who are wannabe mistresses, women who are spoiled, argumentative drama queens, women who are closet misandrists, and women who are liars, cheaters, and adulterers. Those are women I call out in that book, The Possibility of Sex. So just that book alone will tell you I ain't afraid to call out women on that bullshit. But at the same time, I don't want to make a career out of whining and bitching and complaining about women. What I talked about in the free portion about venting. I didn't come on YouTube to vent about women. It's too many guys on YouTube and social media in general. All they doing is venting about women. And to be quite frank with you, man, that gets on my motherfucking nerves. Gets on my motherfucking nerves. See, this is what my brother don't like. Me doing all that cursing. Motherfucking nerves. Yeah, man. I ain't down for all that, man. Women are who they are, man. You just got to make adjustments in your behavior to prevent their bullshit from negatively affecting you. That's all I'm about, is helping men first identify, be able to quickly and effectively identify women's bullshit, and then prepare themselves mentally, intellectually, so that they can be keenly aware of it, so that they're not negatively affected by women's bullshit and head game, manipulative head games. But I ain't about guys who just want to vent and whine and complain about women, man. That is not Alan Roger Currie's MO. If you thought that was my MO, I'm sorry for disappointing you. But that ain't my MO. That ain't what I'm about, man. I'm about helping men increase the size of their balls and strengthening their backbone. Helping men increase the size of their balls and strengthening their backbone. And helping men quickly and be able to quickly and identify, read women's body language signs of interest versus disinterest, and be able to quickly and effectively identify women's manipulative head games. That's what Alan Roger Currie is about. Helping you better understand the overall psychology of women, how they think, how they operate. All this other shit, man. You know, guys taking issue with me because I'm in a romantic relationship with a woman. Man, please. Get out of here with that bullshit. I don't need you as a Patreon subscriber. Now, I got love for no less than probably 95% of my Patreon subscribers. Like the ones who regularly join me in my Patreon live streams, which I'm going to have one this Thursday. I love the guys who join me in my Patreon live streams. They're a good group of guys. Love all of them. And most of the other guys I hear from. So I'd say, rough estimate, no less than 95% of guys who are my Patreon subscribers. I got nothing but love and respect for you guys, and I appreciate your financial support. I really do. But there's about anywhere from 1% to 5% of y'all that are slowly but surely starting to get on my nerves, man. Man, when you write me shit like you have a problem with me being in a relationship, or you have a problem with me not going in on women enough, or you think my commentary is not as valid as some other person's commentary, man, I don't need y'all. If y'all in one of them groups, man, I don't need y'all. Y'all go follow somebody else. Why the fuck you follow me in the first place? Again, man, being red pill is not antithetical to being in a long-term romantic relationship or being married, particularly if you're a dominant male. Particularly if you're a dominant male. If you're a truly dominant man, you shouldn't have any problems in a romantic relationship and or a marriage. If you're truly dominant. The only guys who are really going to run into a boatload of problems when they get involved in a long-term relationship or a marriage are guys that are far more beta than they are alpha. Guys who really have either no backbone or erratic backbone. Guys who are, to one degree or another, kind of wimpy, passive, overly lenient, overly accommodating, naive. That's why I did that video recently, Patreon Super video, where I said some of y'all don't really have what it takes to be a BDSM dom with a woman. If y'all being honest with yourself, I think there's a good number of you guys who do have what it takes, but I think there's another percentage of you guys, y'all don't really have what it takes to be a BDSM dom. I don't think so. Deep down, some of y'all even want to be. I mean, when you're a dominant man, I ain't going to say you ain't going to have no problems with women. You're probably going to run into a few snags here and there. But overall, you ain't going to have the same problems as a guy who's a more submissive type, more passive type, more no backbone type, more cowardly type. You ain't going to have the same. You ain't going to have the same problems that they do. Keep that in mind, fellas. All right. I'll probably do another video between now and Thursday's live stream, but if I don't, I'll talk to you on Thursday's live stream. Peace.